Good morning. It's Coach D. Anthony with today's segment of Morning Minutes with Coach D. And today's topic is there are wrong ways to grieve. So, one of the things that I've noticed along the way is that there are some pretty common, popular notions out there, common and popular notions out there that are wrapped around grief that people naturally uh, ascribe to. And the the thought is that, these things are a given. And I want to, what one of the things that I do is I look to when those notions are inaccurate to try to break those down and dispel them, only because some of them are actually detrimental to our ability to heal. So, one of those I want to spend a little time touching on today, which is the thought that there is no wrong way to grieve. Um, and you usually hear that combined with the concept or the thought that everybody is different. And because everybody is different, every situation is different, everyone finds their own way to grieve. There is no wrong way to grieve. Well, acu- actually, I want to sort of give you some thoughts around that to hopefully dispel that notion just from this standpoint. There are things that we can do and we actually do on a regular basis as survivors that tend to take us in the opposite direction of where we want to be, of where we need to be. If we want to feel better, if we want to minimize the pain and suffering and misery and heartache and all the other adverse feelings and emotions that we tend to have associated with grief, then what we have to do is look to behave in a way and make decisions in a way and think in a way that's actually causing us to cycle in a positive direction and not in a negative direction. So, think about it this way. Let's say that most of us live our lives and everything is going fine, and for the most part we're averaging, say, anywhere between 5 and 15 pounds or so of negative weight that we're carrying on us on any given day. Negative things happen in our lives and we carry those things, we struggle with them. Let's say that for the most of us perhaps averages anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds. And then all of a sudden we get hit. We get hit by loss. It's the most difficult thing that most of us have ever had to deal with in our lives. We lose that person. We lose somebody really special, perhaps someone we would have given our very lives for. And let's say that is adding an additional 75, that event of that loss adds an additional 75 pounds of weight onto that 5 to 15 pound average. Okay. So now the question becomes, what happens after we take that hit? And the thing is that we can either cycle up from there or we can cycle down. And if we are cycling down, then what we'll actually be doing is we'll be adding additional weight above and beyond the 75 pounds from the loss itself. If we're interpreting things a certain way, if our perspective is negative, if we're judging situations and judging people harshly, if we are having inaccurate interpretations or pushing people away or beating ourselves up, any number of different decisions, choices, behaviors that we can implement. What we're actually doing at that point is we're adding additional weight on top of the 75 that we took from the hit, which is on top of what we would already be carrying from the day-to-day activities, the day-to-day disappointments and things that happen, that original 5 to 15 pounds. So you can see that on top of the loss itself, depending upon how we respond, we can really be making our situation that much more irritable, that much more stressful, that much more of a struggle, and feel that much more hopeless and helpless each and every day. By contrast, if we are able to cycle in a positive direction and learn how to manage our choices, our responses, learn how to respond instead of react to certain situations, learn how to keep ourselves out of certain situations instead of adding additional weight, we can actually begin to eliminate some of that additional 75 so that we're actually taking the weight down so that it's not as much of a struggle, it's not as much pain and suffering that we're dealing with. And therein really lies the opportunities for reshaping the way that we respond, the way that we're thinking, so that we are carrying less weight instead of more, so that we see less issues coming in the future that are connected to this grief instead of more. It really is about the thoughts, the choices, and the way that we are carrying things. And that, at the end of the day, is really what recovery and healing are all about. And if you're in a position to begin to do that for yourself, by all means, see that opportunity and begin to do that so that you can start to lessen the strain and the stress and that negative weight that you're carrying, lessen those difficult situations you're finding yourself in each and every day. And if you can't do it alone, seek help, get help, get grief recovery support. Okay? So I'd love to know what questions you have about this. I'd love to know any experiences, anything you would like me to comment on. Just comment below and let me know what you think. But again, there are incorrect ways we can grieve. We're either cycling up or we're cycling down. And if we're doing the incorrect things, we are cycling down, which is only making everything worse. We have choices. You have more influence than you realize. Okay, so hang in there. I'm going to be covering some of these on the morning meetings with Coach D to come. I will be posting about them as I always do in the Stronger Than Grief group. And, you always have the opportunity to reach out to me directly if you are struggling with anything in particular or you're ready to begin to turn things around. But please, comment, comment, comment. It's the way that I know this thing is on, the message is getting through, and it's the way that you tell Facebook that you care about this. Okay, I know it's not cute cats dancing and all, and I know it's not fun, but that it's needed material that's helping you begin to make the turnaround that you need to make. That makes it important material. And your comments tell Facebook that it's important. So it continues showing up in your newsfeed. And it also causes Facebook to show it for even more of the Stronger Than Grief family. So it shows up in their news feeds as well, and they can get more of a positive movement going on in their grief recovery as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, for listening, for sharing your thoughts. Even if you're just sharing a comment that says thanks, that matters too. And if you do, you're welcome. Here's wishing you the very best possible day, and talk to you soon.